Hi, this is Kathy Quinn with Floriani. Floriani is a division of R&K Distributing, and I want to welcome you to this week's Project of the Week. Well, I've been doing a lot of appliques. It just seems like summertime is lots of fun designs. You've got the 4th, you've got so much going on. But I realized that while I have taught you a lot of different things about applique, if you look in our archives, it's how to do applique the Floriani way, how if you're using a digital cutter, if you're going to cut them out using Applique Wonder, or you're going to use Quilter Select Applique. We do a whole lot with applique, but I realized I had never taught you how to edit. I taught you how to create. I've taught you all kinds of fun things, but I've never really taught you applique editing. So I thought I would bring that up because there's sometimes that we take an existing design and we turn it into applique, because remember, Floriani, we got the one-click wonders. We've got the easiest applique creation on the market, and I'm going to tell you, we've got the easiest editing as well. So let's come in. Now, I rely on pre-digitized shapes or artwork. Of course, if you can draw, you are welcome to use the applique tool. But I'm going to come in here up in our custom shapes, and I'm going to left-hand click, and I'm left mouse, excuse me, and I'm going to come and I'm just going to grab a flower. Now this flower's artwork, I'm going to come down to my bottom set of icons. Right here, my green bush is my applique tool. Now I also have a little down arrow that I'm going to select because I have presets. I have created an applique stitch that is my favorite, and I could create as many as I like. But this one is Kathy's favorite, so I'm going to left mouse click on that. See, it already has the width I like, the density I like, it's got the inset, I like the beveled corner. So actually, it's got everything I wanted. I also didn't want a tack down line, because a lot of times I'm using Applique or Applique Wonder and I see no reason to tack that down. I just come in and do my finished stitch. Now, remember, that all depends upon what you're putting the applique on. If you're putting it on a towel, you better come in with a nice zigzag tack down to hold that so it doesn't get pulled one way or the other sitting on top of that pile. But we're going to look at some editing features. Now I've got my flower, and I'm going to go ahead and come in and I'm going to grab a butterfly. Now I'm going to move this butterfly, and I want it to just sit kind of on the edge of my flower here. Let me just move it down. That's kind of where I want my butterfly. So now I've got two objects. Again, I'm going to come down to my one-click wonder, and I'm going to create my applique. So now I have a red flower, or dark red flower, and kind of an orangey butterfly. Now I want to start working with this, and since I just threw some shapes together, and you may have something you've drawn and you've thrown together, I want to show you how easy it is to edit stitches in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to come over onto my left-hand toolbar. Down near the bottom, I'm going to left mouse click on my ghost. Now you'll see what he does when I come over, and I'm going to close my properties box. I don't need it. When I come over here, I am going to put my butterfly to sleep because I'm not editing the butterfly. It's sitting on top of the flower. So when I put it to sleep, I want you to notice I still have a ghost of an outline. It's asleep. It's not there. I can't digitize it. I can't mess it up. I can't do anything to it because I can't select it. But I can still see where it is, and that's critical sometimes. When you want to edit stitches, you need to see where the other object is. So now that my flower is here, now looking at this flower, it is an applique. Now if I click on my plus on my applique, it shows me I have a tack down line and I have my finished stitch. But they are actually grouped, and the software has grouped them into a group called applique. As long as this applique is finished exactly how I want it, I can come in here, I'm going to right mouse click, and I am going to break up the applique. In essence, I'm ungrouping it. But the minute I ungroup it, it is no longer, now I couldn't go back to applique and edit the stitch. The only way to undo what I just did is literally undo is your best friend. But as long as I'm where I want to be, and I want you to notice something. I created this flower, and it was, as an applique, it was the very first object I did, so it was at the top of the list. Then I created the butterfly. But the minute I grabbed that applique and I changed it into stitches, I changed it away, I grouped it, I took it away from being applique, I turned it into a run stitch and a steal stitch. The order it's now been digitized in is last. And we're going to leave it there for our exercise. So right now it's last. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to edit the stitches that are underneath the butterfly, but I don't want to mess with my placement line because I still need to place my flower fabric down. So I'm going to come up here to my placement line, left mouse click, and put it to sleep. So now the only thing that is going to be affected by anything I do is my red finish line for my flower. So I'm going to come to the fourth tool down called the stitch icon or the stitch tool. And I'm going to grab the lasso. And with this lasso, I'm going to come in here and I'm literally going to draw around the pieces of my flower that I don't want. And the minute they meet, look what happened. It selected all those stitches. I'm merely going to hit delete on the keyboard. How simple was that to edit this, easily edit it to make it so I don't have any stitches in that space. And this works for anything. It doesn't have to be applique. Anytime you want to remove some stitches, this is the easiest way to be in full control. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my select icon and I'm going to come over in my sequence view and right mouse click and I'm going to tell it to show everything. So there we go. Now anytime you edit, I always recommend using your slow redraw because sometimes when we're editing we forget order of things or we get so excited that something worked the right way for us the first time that we turn around to stitch it out, and then that's where we go in the hole. So let's always go ahead and stitch it out on screen. Now you can see what my trouble is. My butterfly stitching first. I don't want the butterfly to stitch and then the flower placement line because now the flower is going to go over the top of my butterfly. So that's not going to work. So what I'm going to do is, again in my sequence view, I'm going to touch my butterfly. I'm going to right mouse click and say move to the last. Now let's look at it. I'm going to put down my placement line for my flower. I'm going to place my fabric there. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to finish that. As soon as that finishes, it's going to put the placement line for my butterfly down. I'm going to lay my butterfly fabric down and I'm going to go ahead and finish that as well. How simple was this to play with as far as Floriani? I could have put a circle in of stitches now to stitch on top. I could have done little decor in the butterfly's wings, given him a couple of antennae. Now you can do the sky's the limit. But how easily edited were those stitches that I did not want to stitch out under my butterfly fabric. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope you're having fun stitching through the summer, and I hope you're doing lots of applique. I look forward to seeing you next week. Oh, by the way, I will be at Schiller's Sewing in Connecticut on Friday and Saturday of this week. We're going to do a hands-on. We've got 6 gorgeous new things to do, so if you have not done a hands-on with us, please come to Schiller's, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend. If not, I'll see you somewhere along the road. Thanks for watching.